ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another top 10 video on my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2020. If you're trying to get your new Marvel Legends, you can do so at
Search your feelings, you know it be true.
Darkside Toys is a store for you. Link below. And while you're down there, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Oh my goodness, so many Marvel Legends came out this year. It was very, very hard to get this list together. I've been working on it for weeks, man, and I'm still feeling a little shaky about it. There's some figures here that I'm actually quite sad that I did not include in my top 10. I love this Mystique figure, the Shang-Chi. I mean, all of these right here are figures that I've wanted, including the rest of the Hellfire Club set. I felt like could have been added in there. I really love those figures, and there's individual reasons for each of these not making it. It's just one thing or another. Like, for instance, I would have liked a much shinier paint on the Silver Centurion, plus the head articulation thing kind of bothers me with that figure. That's why he didn't make the cut. The Venom Pole didn't make the cut just because there's a lack of connection between me and that character right there. The Cyborg Spidey, I just wish he came out way dirtier than he did. It looks like a brand new fresh suit when it's actually a suit that needed to be changed out of, you know? So, and the Shang-Chi I really like a lot too. I'm just not super connected to Shang-Chi. Yeah, I'm not going to be one of those people that when the Shang-Chi movie comes out, I'm going to be all like, oh yeah, I've been a Shang-Chi fan my whole life. No, I haven't been. But still an amazing figure and deserves the honorable mention. And many other figures deserve the honorable mention, and I still may miss some, but I'm going to just shoot out some names like the Velocity Suit Spider-Man, Sugar-Man, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Crimson Dynamo, MCU Taskmaster, Cull Obsidian, Gwen Stacy / MJ, Kang, Grey Widow, Vulture, Phage, Punisher Motorcycle, Moon Knight, Winter Soldier, White Rabbit, Demo Goblin, Abomination Build-A-Figure, Old Man Hawkeye. Those are all figures that did not make my top 10, but oh man, and there's probably some I'm still missing. Oh, and another thing to mention is that I did post my top 10 Marvel Legends repaints yesterday, so any figures that you think I'm missing could have possibly have mentioned in that video, so be sure to check that one out as well. But anyway, at the number 10 spot, I gave it to the Stiltman Build-A-Figure. I just love this whole concept of being able to add multiple legs and extensions to this figure. I love the way it looks too. I really like that silver plastic, even though I have complaints about some of the marbling and everything, but I'm not seeing the figure how I would really like to see it, and that's with multiple leg pieces added to it. I will eventually. I do have one more Hand Ninja on the way. I've pre-ordered a few others, so I will see my dream Stiltman display in the near future, but I just think this figure inspires a lot of creativity. I mean, even without the extra legs, you know, getting different camera angles and whatnot, and he fits in multiple parts of your Marvel Legends collection, so I had to put Stiltman in the top 10. Just really love this concept and the creativity behind it. I think it's awesome. And at the number 9 spot, from the same wave as the Stiltman Build-A-Figure, I'm giving it to the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales figure. I've been wanting this figure for so long. I just feel like it's just a huge improvement compared to the last version we got. Now, I would like this figure a little bit more if we saw Miles like this more in the movie. It's really just kind of like one scene. Well, I think he was even masked when he had this whole getup going with the suit and the hoodie and the shorts, if I remember correctly. I have seen the movie a few times, but this figure, along with the Peter B. Parker, which is not in the top 10 list, but I have to give an honorable mention to the Peter B. Parker because I really like that figure a lot too. But this figure, along with the Peter figure, just made me feel like I was a better photographer when I really wasn't. It was just the figures just being extremely badass that made me feel like I was better at taking photos. But no, it's the figures, man. At the number 8 spot, I am giving it to the Deadpool movie figure, and I love this figure. However, I don't like that whole deal with the removable guns or the non-removable guns. I still need to do a tutorial on that. I haven't opened the second one that I picked up, but I will make a video on that, hopefully sooner than later. Well, it's already been later. But anyway, I really like this figure a lot. If he had an interchangeable head, you know, a maskless Wade, that would have been really cool to have had with this figure. But regardless, I love this thing, man. I really dig this figure a lot. It had to make the top 10 for me. At the number 7 spot, I'm giving it to Carnage, or Absolute Carnage. I have my regular Cletus Cassidy Carnage setup over here, and I love this figure. Now, I do have added accessories from the previous Carnage. I guess he would have been a little bit higher up on the list if I didn't already kind of like the older Carnage, but I love mixing the pieces together over here. The sculpted detail and paint apps on this thing are remarkable. I just don't like the little jagged spike things that we get on some of those tendrils. That is probably the biggest downfall for me with this figure, but I absolutely love this thing. I mean, it's just really fun to look at, fun to pose around. Excellent brand new sculpt over here from Hasbro. Gotta love this Carnage figure. And at number 6, I'm giving it to Storm. Oh my goodness, I love this figure so damn much. I really didn't have the highest expectations for this figure. I just wanted Hasbro to make a classic Storm. I'd asked for that for so long, but getting all the added parts over here, the interchangeable capes, the wafting hair, I love the head sculpt on this one. I mean, she has 2 head sculpts. I love them both. The pinless joints on the knees. Now, I wish the hips were taken in a little bit more, and, you know, I wish the female parts stood out a little better with this figure. It is a gripe of mine. She would have made it a little bit higher up on the list if not for that, but I do think this is an outstanding figure, and it does remind me of an import figure, probably more than any other figure on this list. And at the number 5 spot, I am giving it to the Deluxe War Machine. And wow, this figure delivered so hard. I wanted a new War Machine ever since I saw the 80 Years Iron Man from the year before, and I really think Hasbro hooked it up big time with this. I'm glad they made it a deluxe figure so that you have all these cool new accessories over here. I love that they reused some of the parts from that 80 Years Iron Man. I wish they had used, you know, some of the techniques that they had done with the Silver Centurion on the silver parts of this figure. I really absolutely love this thing, and I am so stoked to have it. It had to make the top 10. And at the number 4 spot, I am giving it to the Fox Films Amazon exclusive Wolverine. And I love this figure, man. I had to get 2 of them. This thing just delivered so hard. Now, we have 3 versions. We have the Logan movie version, we have the jacket version and tank top. My favorite one is the tank top version. I just really like this one the most. I think it looks most badass. It's just, I guess my favorite scenes of Wolverine were from X2, and that's what it reminds me of over anything else. I love the head sculpts more so than the other ones too, so yeah, this one just delivers. Love the claws, even though my favorite ones are the bloody ones, but it's the same sculpt of claws and everything. So anyway, this figure is truly badass. Been wanting this figure for many, many, many years, and I'm so happy to finally have it. And at the number 3 spot, I'm giving it to the Build-A-Figure Strong Guy. This is another one that I've been wanting for a very, very long time, and I'm so happy that Hasbro gave us this huge Strong Guy figure. I think the scale of it is awesome, and I just love the way it came out, the way it looks. I love that they gave him the X-Factor suit, or more classic X-Factor suit. It just works very well for me. It reminds me of my old Toy Biz toy, which I still have around somewhere, which I have not been able to find, but yeah, the figure just delivers in every way that I want it to. I'm sure it was tricky to make because he can stand fairly well. However, he's supposed to have the tiny feet and everything and be very top heavy. So the fact that they're able to make all of this work so that you could balance him around and have the aesthetics of Strong Guy just makes me really, really happy. So stoked to have this figure. He had to make the top 3. And at the number 2 spot, I gave it to the Marvel Legends Retro Vintage Collection Spider-Man. And I love this figure. You have heard me sing its praises countless times. I do have multiples of this figure. I absolutely love it. You get the drop down hips. I love the combo of the diaphragm joint and the ab crunch right there. My only real gripe with it is that we don't have those articulated toes, which I'd love to see, and the whole ball pin joint without the hinge. You know, I prefer the neck hinge dumbbell joint rather than just the dumbbell joint, you know what I mean? That would have been a bit better. So yeah, there are things that I don't like about it, and that may have kept it from hitting that number 1 spot, but overall, you know I love this figure. And at the number 1 spot, you know it was going to the movie Venom figure. You all knew that already. And yeah, he made the number 1 spot. I just love this figure too much to not be here. I didn't think that I would like a Venom this tall with this kind of body type, with this articulation though. It has made me just win over the height of this figure. I do have an extra one that was customized by Pounds978, which has been on the display, and I love it. I also have the Snowman Studios Weapon V attachment parts works, which I still need to do a video on, and it's just like a figure that just keeps giving. Now, on this particular copy, the veins don't stick out as much as the one that I had sent to Pounds for customizing. So some people got veins that are a lot more white, and some people got veins that are a little bit more gray. Mine are a bit more gray on mine, so I'm just really happy with my copy over here. Absolutely love this figure. I guess, you know, butterfly joints would have been nice, but I still have had a ton of fun with this thing. I just love it. It is by far definitely my favorite figure of the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please show some love by hitting that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. This was a really fun year for Marvel Legends. Once again, I believe we are in a golden age of Marvel Legends. Hasbro has just been killing it. You know, there's a lot of little things here and there that I wish were done differently, but for the most part, I'm just really stoked about what we've been getting. And I think just these 10 figures right here are an awesome 10 figures. These are my favorite 10 figures of the year. And it was very hard for me to get this list together and get all my thoughts organized. A lot of figures were put in, taken out, and switched around. Oh man, so many dope figures from the year, and I'm curious to know what your top 10 figures are of the year. So if you leave your list in the comment section below and I read it, I'll give it a heart. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think. And if you don't like my list, well, you know, that's your problem, because I don't like the idea of people getting pissed off at other people's top 10s. It's like based on what the individual likes. And I just think it's mostly younger people that are kind of getting pissed off over other people's lists, because the concept of getting mad at somebody else's top 10 is ridiculous. So let's keep the peace and share our thoughts on these figures. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, share your top 10 with me. And if you want to follow me over on social media, I ask that you go ahead and check out my Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and I will catch you guys later with another top 10. So stay tuned. Peace. Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face,